You know, I'm Challenger, I have no life, and I'm Asian, so I probably can get rank 1. Previously on Dragon Balls in Mouth, we were at 513 LP, and now we're on our way to 600 LP. And in the next game, we start feeding again. Even right here, I'm like, I can get out, but oh no, Karma's a bitch. Even right here, I'm like, let's get this Rek'Sai, my stun's OP. But I'm an easy target for the enemy to go on. And I pop my ultimate, I'm like, ooh, I'm not gonna die. Oh, just kidding, there's a lot of bursts coming from the enemy team. You know, I could have flashed, but I didn't think I would die so fast. But eventually, I make up for it for a flashy play. Oh, also, I was talking to a Tarek main who goes by the name of Grande Donger. And one thing I've been doing wrong was maxing out W second instead of Q second. You know, initially I was like, fuck Q, I don't want to level that up. It only goes up by 10 to 30 heal per level, while also going up by 20 mana per level. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty shit. And I was like, W doesn't go up by 20 mana per level, and I also get more passive armor, plus % maximum health increased. But then he kind of explained it to me why Q is better, and that's because your Q can potentially heal your whole team for, 180 hit point. So that's like 30% of a wish. But also, I realized the math on my W, it only goes up by 2.5%, and sometimes I don't even build a bunch of armor, but also it's not really a lot. While the 1% maximum health increase per level, well, if you think about it, for every 1,000 hit points someone has, you only get 10 more shields. So that's pretty shitty, and your shield is only on 2 people, so why have 10 more shields per level on 2 people instead of having an AoE heal that could potentially be 30 per level on 5 people, so it makes sense. Also, he told me some tips about the laning phase, and you'll probably see that in future videos, but not this one. Anyways, Fiora carries, I win. But now let's get Roy into the next game, and we play some of that Soraka. So, I don't know where the Pulverize was, but that's my cue to flash away and not get chain CC'd. Once I see this bitch ass is out of mana, I'm like, wait a minute, he's fucking useless. So I know that Rek'Sai's coming, and all I'm gonna do is chase this guy down with my Qs to slow him down while also just following him. I'm not gonna auto him because Soraka's auto attack animation is super slow, so there's honestly no point. Also, zero respect for the Ash Arrow plus Alistair plus Nidalee ganks, but I mean, their jungle is kind of warded heavily. But there's only one route she could have got to us, and that was going through the bot lane, to the golems, to the tri-bush. Anyways, Alistair thinks he can get me, but, I'm kind of tanky, and he just set me up to all-in Ashe. Oh ho 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 ho. Also, he tries to all-in me, but, I'm kind of tanky, and I also have Wish, so I live. Now, I got a lot of questions coming from my last video where people were asking stuff about Soraka on why I max out Q over W, so I do not remember if I answered this in the last video, but I only max out Q if I'm ahead in lane. But if I'm behind, I max out W for the utility. Q is just a way of shitting on your lane if you're ahead. The next thing people asked about my Soraka is why I don't build any AP. So, here's reason number 1. Her AP ratios suck. Go look at it. It's horrible. Plus, if you build AP, have fun getting nuked in team fights. If you're building tanky shit, and you're very durable in team fights, well, then the enemy is gonna have a bad time. Also, another reason why you build tanky is because your Q, it heals you, so you become like 1/5 of a Mundo if you land your Q, and you just heal a lot. Also, her W, it goes up by 30 per level, and has a 0.6 AP ratio. So if you want 30 plus more heals off AP, that's gonna be about 1,000 gold. And you're playing a support, you're not that rich. Plus your W already heals for 200, so what is an extra 30 heal for 1,000 gold worth to ya? And a lot of people say, why don't you build Warmugs on Soraka? You're not gonna get Warmugs. And even if you do, where are you gonna get the 3,000 health? Plus, building health makes your W cost more, so that's pretty counterproductive if I say so myself. Anyways, the game was a stomp because every lane won, except me. Well, actually our Jhin is really fed, but can't say the same thing about myself. Now, in the next game, we are scrapping pretty hard. One thing that pisses me off is my silence doesn't cancel Lucian's ultimate. I have no idea if that's a bug or not. I think Lucian's ult is channeled, but yeah, that's an interesting interaction. And it looks like we're doing really good in team fight. Lucian's behind me, but I don't really care too much. The exhaust kind of came late, but I don't think it really mattered too much. And I see 3 members of our team are pretty low, so I just, put on my wish. Nard does die instantly and doesn't get Mega Nard, so that's a really bad thing. And also Maokai does come in with a flank. So yeah, this little skirmish was good at the beginning, but Nard wasn't too tanky at the time, and also Maokai got a nice flank. In this game, there were plenty of team fights, and definitely this game was kind of back and forth. We were definitely behind, but we were making picks. We eventually got Baron, and the team fight is going really well for us. This Maokai can't do shit to me because, well, I'm too tanky for him. But Jin actually gets caught out, which is our main DPS. You know, maybe I could have flash exhausted Meteos, but that doesn't seem like the best idea. And I also couldn't reach him in time, so he gets kind of like blown up. And then we get blown up because Kindred's kind of fed. We later scrap again, but I think our team is more of a poke comp than team fight comp, so we have to poke them before we fight them, since that is what Xerath is good at, but we didn't do that, and I also think if Xerath got Riley's Crystal Scepter, things would have been a little bit better. Unfortunately, their team fight 5v5 is a little bit too much for us. But hey, our team actually snipes him and pokes him off, and we get a double kill. Unfortunately later, me and Xerath are a little bit too far up, and we get caught out, which is really bad, and we lose the game. In the next game, I play Elise, and you know, fun stuff happening in an early game. And right here, we're thinking of going on Shen. We do see the karma is coming, so no, we don't want to fight him. But Janna and Kennen are coming, so this is easily a good fight for us. And we get a double kill. Alright, so later on I see Shen pushing minions at somewhat of a low hit point. Now what I do is somewhat risky because I'm diving through the tower and the enemy jungler might appear to kill me and get a shutdown. Also, I don't know what Shen does, like I know his shield comes up when he hits a skill, but it's unclear if it's on cooldown or not, so it is somewhat tricky. And also if the river was warded and he was baiting me into something, that could have been really bad, or his flash might have been up and he could have outplayed me somehow, then I would have definitely got shit on. Luckily, I don't think the river was warded. So yeah, I'd say my confidence level of the tower dive on Shen play was like about 35% confident level and like 65% of it going wrong, and luckily the dive on Shen didn't go wrong. Right here I start to throw because I took the wrong path. Cockiness, confident level about 70%, now turns into 40%, and I start playing a little bit less aggressive. Until here when we think we have a pick on Shen, but there's a zillion ult on him. If you guys don't know what's happening right now, I'm looking at the buff timer on his chrono shift and I can easily kill him when it runs out. Now we go in for a huge dive because, well, there's a Fiora ultimate, so I'm just like, hey, let's get right into the news. But Hecarim is charging at me and I'm like, oh shit, I'm kind of in a very sticky situation, and I see he does a lot of damage. And I flash away because I don't want to get double bombed, but I guess he didn't have it up. Oh, and also I built Abyssal because of Corki, Shen, Karma mid, so they didn't have a lot of physical damage. And right here I see a Corki, I'm like, hey, let's duel, bitch, I have my skirmishers, I'm gonna fuck you up. But my Q and E were down, so not the best idea. Luckily I have Repel and I can kill him, but oh shit, he has heal. And I get baited. I could have waited until my team came, but actually there's no buts, he would have just died. And I probably could have lived, so in that scenario, if you don't know his heal is up, it's better to just like chill and screw off and wait for your teammates to clean up. But you know me. Anyways, teammates get fucked, I eventually get cucked. And things are looking a little slim shady, if I do say so myself. Well, I mean for the enemy. Because after they got the tower in the top lane, they kind of overstayed their welcome, and we just picked off people. And when the enemy has 2 people down, it's honestly a free Baron. You don't see this shit happen in silver, gold, or even platinum, because honestly, people somehow fuck up the Baron and like, I don't know, shit doesn't go the way as planned. And people don't do what they were supposed to do, and I don't know, do something else. So yeah, if you're in silver, gold, or platinum, and there's 2 enemies down on the enemy team at like 26 minutes, it's like better to go for towers, because you can't trust anyone down there, let's be honest here. The only person you can trust is yourself. Anyways, my team kind of overstayed a bit, and some people got caught. I'm just here being like, oh shit, I might die here. But luckily, they're like, oh shit, Fiora's fucking up our back line. So what I do at a very low hit point is poke with my W, and try and get mana off the Scuttle Crab, and shoot my Cocoon randomly until Janna ults, then I can kind of go all in, because the Monsoon is very nice. And now I'm just like, I'm pretty low, kind of. But we get the Zillion, and then we try and get the Shen, and Corki's kind of flanking me. I almost died, but just too slippery, and then Hecarim's coming here. But luckily his E does run out, and my spiders are slowing him down, and I do get away. Anyways, after this, the game's basically over, and we get some LP. Next game, we play Soraka, and guess what happens? We feed, but then we win! Oh, and the next game we play Rek'Sai, and I remember this fucking game. This actually pissed me off so hard. So basically what happened was Janna died level 1. I'm thinking of ganking and being like, you know what, maybe we can do this, but I'm like, they probably have heal, maybe ignite still or something, I don't know, some bullshit. So I'm like, fuck this, and I think Ezreal pings me to go in, but it was actually the Janna, and then I was like, oh, okay. So I got hardcore baited by my teammates' ping, and that actually somewhat pissed me off, although it was my fault because I wasn't paying attention to whose ping it was, and also I didn't use my brain, so ultimately it is 100% my fault. But then he says like, you got baited, GG, and I'm like, did you do that on purpose? But at the time I think I was reading it in a different context, so I don't think he was saying it like that. But I did make some cringy plays this game, I'm not gonna lie. I did some things right. I would have maybe have put the game in a good spot. For right here, you can see the Janna is body blocking these bullets from me, and I'm just like, what the what the fuck was that? I mean, to be honest, probably one of us would have died. But yeah, you can see this game is kind of winnable. Look how much towers we have. Look at the Trinamir, he's actually doing work. And the enemy team has a lot of AD except for Elise. So as long as we just build like armor, I think we can win. But like the enemy gets Baron and it's just like a hard time. The inhibitor spawns for us and they don't actually win here. But like they eventually do push and we lose. And also losing some LP. Next game I play Elise. And I'm like, I want to gank bot. Then I see Graves, I'm like, I want to counter gank. So I counter gank him and he's dead. So next thing I'm trying to do is get a little aggressive whenever I'm ahead and go into the enemy's jungle. This is something I feel like I have to work on because this is what makes an average jungler an extremely good jungler, which is a knowledge of knowing how to invade the enemy. Also repelling back onto the Graves was a stupid thing. Don't know what I was thinking there, but yeah, so it does get a double kill. But yeah, sometimes I make mistakes. Like whenever I invade, I just get caught out randomly, and that's something I fear. But that's also something I have to overcome. And it's also, you know, at one point will be trial and error. And like the only times I invade is when I see the enemy jungler is on the other side, and I just go to the opposite side of him. But I also want to try something like straight up invading him and relying on my teammates to follow up on my aggressive moves. Sometimes you can't do that because maybe the enemy laners are closer than your laner, and if you want to plan it that way, then you have to make sure your laner has pressure. And specifically the early game, I actually couldn't find any ganks. Urgot always had wards, Malzahar also had wards, and bot lane was just getting A-node because Lee Sin kept camping them, and yeah, it wasn't really a good time. Now we do scale really well into the late game, so all we have to do is stall until 30 minutes, and we also win while the enemy has Baron buff, so that's a good sign. So we are slowly coming back into the game, but later on we do have a little fight around the Baron pit, and I walk into a Lee Sin ultimate, which actually really fucks me up. I do live and now they're on the Baron, but I'm also at low hit point. There's also no wards around me, so I can maybe steal it, but I'm a little too late. Jin's 4th shot did surprise me on its burst. And also if I went in earlier, I probably would have died, since I am low health. Anyways, game's over, round 2 as Graves. I do my little level 3 gank cheese, and luckily Syndra gets her full combo off so we can finish off this Zed. Next up I come up in the bot lane. I'm coming in Ezreal, and I'm like, does Tahm Kench not have his W up because he's not eating him? But apparently he did, but Ezreal still dies. Cause you know, damage over time OP. I come back bot lane, no summoners, no wards, no nothing. Then I come top lane, kill the Echo. Actually, Kennen gets the Echo. And then I come bot lane to do this. And then the enemy team eventually opens mid, and we get a win. Next game they have a Shaco, so we invade, but we also find a gangplank. I also invade and find a Shaco later. No. Shaco's also trying to gank, but it's just not working too well for him. Later on, Gnar calls for a invade on the blue buff, which is a good call because we're very strong. But they do catch me out, and I am forced to repel over this blue buff, and now I'm being kinda dicked on. Kassadin is coming, but I already took too much damage, and I kinda die. See, this is the thing I gotta work on, is being good at invading the enemy jungle. Like, I guess I should've just went behind the Gnar, or pushed up Kassadin's wave, so he can come and assist. But it is moves like those that I gotta work on. Anyways, Lucian bugged out, so he's forced to flash, and yeah, I'm not 100% sure what exactly happened there, but if this was an LCS game, you could tell there would be a remake. Anyways, this game is sort of looking like a stomp. Right here, I want you to look at the minimap. Do you see any enemies on the map? No. Where are my allies? Not near me. Do I have any wards in the enemy jungle or in the river? No. So that's why doing something like this is a risky move. You probably also noticed that I have a proto belt on Elise. And you're wondering, why does he have that? Well, here's the answer. Because it's fun to use. That's the only reason why. Anyways, look at this play, look at the outplay, and we get a double kill. But yeah, you can see this game has been dragging on for a long time and we haven't ended it yet. The reason behind that is because we haven't grouped yet, or like some of us get picked off, and then the game is delayed, and it's like sort of a throw, but we also are killing the enemy as much as us, maybe a little more. But we eventually get an inhibitor and we go for Baron, and we have basically won the game, giving us some LP. Alrighty, so one more game for the road to 600 LP. We catch up the Soraka here because she went in for a deep ward in my jungle, which is the dumbest thing to do, but also, I looked at her runes and she has AP Quince plus M-Pen, so she's not a Soraka player. Like, if you don't have the right runes for Soraka, you're not going to be super efficient. Anyways, this game was heavily based off macro play, so you don't see a lot of kills, the only thing you see is a lot of towers being down, and just controlling the enemy team. So yeah, rotations, towers, no one gives a shit about that, that's boring stuff. enough. But fortunately for you guys, it's time to get a lesson in rotation. So once you have pressure on the map, you gotta go for those towers. I don't know what the fuck these first towers are called, but let's call them first towers. So you prioritize these first, and then you can go for the inner tower, but usually the closer you get to the enemy nexus, it's harder to take the towers closer to the nexus. So once you get the 2 towers, mid and bottom, you can go like top lane and try and get that. That's where you put all the pressure. And then after that, you just go to the big waves, or if the enemies are not in position to defend the tower, then maybe you can get some damage on it or take it out. And that's why you see our bot lane and a top lane, because we want to get those towers. And that's basically the formula of getting a lead. Position your units so you have pressure on a certain tower. Just make sure you don't get caught out while rotating. Thankfully, that's what Janna is good for, is disengaging. But yeah, kill-wise, this game doesn't look like a stomp, but we have so much towers that it is. And so we have hit 600 LP in just a mere 6 episodes. You know how fucking retarded that sounds when it took us like what, 16 episodes to get to 600 LP before, and now climbing from 299 LP instead of 465 LP in just 6 episodes? Doesn't that sound a little kinda slim shady? Yeah, I know it's a little stupid and it's like a roller coaster, but I 100% guarantee this is not scripted at all. It's just, it takes some time for me to get back into the solo queue groove, figure out what's strong, what I have to do, what mistakes I'm making, and just what to do. So yeah, I do apologize. Well, actually I don't, but in the words of Ankle Spankin', it is what it is. But we've actually gone through like 40 games, a little bit more in the 6 episodes we've gone through, because one episode was really clustered, but the progression was really fast after that episode. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. On the next episode of Dragon Balls in My Mouth, we play Olaf. Interesting, right? But I wanted to try something new. I was so bored of every other champ, and I needed something fresh. We also play Galio, and I'll explain why in the next video. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys did like this video, make sure to leave a like. And if you didn't, make sure to subscribe. Anyways, I'm going to leave you guys with a stream highlight, and I'll see you guys next time. Holy fuck! Fuck, I fucked up already.